Hey everyone, it's your brother Zen bringing you a message of love for above for the new moon that's coming up on November 14th and 15th. If you're on the East Coast, it'll be early morning, just after midnight on November 15th. And for the rest of the time zones in the United States anyway, it'll be more late in the evening on November 14th, of course. So I thought I'd do a little reading for the new moon that is coming up. You can see here that this is the new moon. It talks about, with the new moon, it's always a new start is coming, like it says on the bottom there. And with the new start, it's really a time to wipe the slate clean. It's like forget the past, forget the last cycles that you've gone through for now. It brings hope. It's like a time of rebirth and new intentions. So I ask myself when I get close to a new moon, what do I want to grow? Something that I've been posting a lot about, during our kind of uncertain times that we think is uncertain. Of course, everything is for us, not to us. So life has an amazing way of unfolding perfectly for what we want to experience, what we want to come to our face. But as far as what I've been focusing on wanting to grow is every moment I have a choice to try to unite through love or continue to divide through fear. So when I'm looking at the new moon coming up, it's like, what do I want to grow and how do I want to grow that? And I set those new intentions for the new moon. Now this new moon is actually in Scorpio, as you can see here. And lo and behold, the focus that the new moon in Scorpio brings is working through our fears. So it's so perfect for what's going on in our lives. The information I'm grabbing around this comes from this wonderful deck, this Moonology Oracle deck. And with the new moon in Scorpio, again, it talks about rebirth, of course, with being a new moon. But the picture it brings is like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And how fitting for 2020. We can have this perception that, wow, so much of our lives has been burned down in 2020, just with so many of our fears being brought to our face, But the Scorpio energy is really all about birth, death, and rebirth again. So like the phoenix, it burns down into ashes and then it rises again, which is a wonderful message for us at, towards this end of 2020. So whatever we've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark right now, but whatever we're going through is going to be, it's a deep and transforming experience. And I know for me, for this year, just having everything that's been challenged, I guess is a good way to say it, in my life, my thoughts and beliefs about life and how it should be. It's just been a wonderful transforming experience. Other messages that come with, this specific card here is to let go of grudges, move on from, any type of fear emotions that we've been through. We can move on from them. It also brings a message of stop being obsessive. It also asks a question, am I being paranoid? Fear does that to us. It shakes us and makes us look around us and see shadows, which, also talks about facing our shadow. This is representative of a new moon. You don't see the moon because it's dark and there's nothing shining on it. But, when we go through the phase and the sun starts to shine on the side of the moon that we see, then things become brighter. So working through our dark side, we can get to the light. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. Give me a little space to work with here. So I'm going to do a reading for us just for around this new moon. And it can last from the new moon on Saturday, Sunday, up until the full moon, which will be around November 30th, depending on where you're at in the world. But it'll be November 30th. So it'll be for like a kind of a 2-week period. And what I thought I would start is I'll pull a card from this Wisdom Oracle deck. We need some wisdom now, can really help us out. And this is by Colette Baron-Reid, which is a pretty awesome deck of hers. So we'll start off by pulling a card from here. All right, what message do you have for us for the new moon, Creator? This one's really jumping out to me here, so I'm going to pull this one here. And this one is not for you. I think that's a little fortune cookie there in the middle there. So a message coming to us here. It's the number 6 as well. Let me just put that there. And let me see what the little book that she has mentions this, because it really brings some good messages here. So the essential meaning of this card is a clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. There are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game and you feel you're just watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates that you are not going to attain what you want right now, that indeed your dreams for that exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. Take heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what is for your highest good. Rejection is God's protection. Something much better that will make you truly happy is on its way. Trust this. Wow. So what a great message. And, it really fits into looking at our fears too, because, so much of our life we have this idea of what's supposed to happen. And we think with our little human fear ego mind that we know what's best for us. And I was just talking to my roommate this morning about, I have this picture in my head sometimes of, the creator's an adult and I'm this little 2-year-old. And I'm like, I want some juice. And it's like, okay, here's the pitcher. And I'm like, I want to pour it. And the creator knows. It's like, well, you need to learn when to accept help and when doing things on your own is going to end up a little messy. So we get the pitcher and we try pouring it in the cup and, it just pours all over the place. We miss, half of the juice, misses the glass and everything else. But the experience that we go through in life happens for a reason. We learn through it and we may not know, what is best for us. And this song has been coming up a lot for me over this last month is, thank God for unanswered prayers. I don't know what is for my best in my small human mind with my limited experience where the Creator does know. So when life says, nope, that's not for you, whatever it might be, a relationship or a job or, any kind of situation happen in your life is something that you wanted and thought should happen and it's not happening. Sometimes we just need to trust that the Creator has our highest experience in store for us. So a great message for coming through on that. Next, I want to pull a card from this Return of Spirit deck. And it's interesting that I just noticed, it talks about the Phoenix rising. And for me, that looks like a Phoenix rising. So we'll pull a card from here to get some additional messages and encouragement from the Creator. is Holy Spirit, the essence of unconditional love. Let's see what else we have here. All right, Creator, what additional message do you have for us? Okay, and I'm going to pull this one here. This one is Star Seed. It's a beautiful card there. I'm going to read this one intuitively rather than from the little book, because what I'm really getting from this is be aware that we are a piece of the universe. I was reading it was like a science article, and it talks about there's this belief that the whole entire universe started from a small particle originally, and it just became so intense that when it exploded, that's what created all the planets and the stars and everything in it. From a religious standpoint, you can look at that as when the Creator said, "Let there be light," and that's what he created from. He started with, little, you can even look at it as a little piece of clay, and then it just grew into this huge universe. But that we are, these physical bodies and this essence of who we are on this plane came from the same particles, the same, it's like we're stardust, but it's a star seed, that we are a piece of all of that. And actually they're telling me to go ahead and read from the book too. So I'm like, okay. So they wanted that message first. And what the book says is, the loving, benevolent being in this card has come to you today to share his words of encouragement. There are many who feel as though they don't belong here on earth, and it can be a tough journey with many experiences and obstacles to overcome. You no longer have to question whether you're supposed to be here or not, or whether you belong. You most absolutely belong here. Your soul has chosen to incarnate at this time for many reasons, and the Creator has brought you here for a reason too. So do not doubt the wisdom of it. You're a very sensitive soul, connected to the subtle energies that weave and ebb through the entire cosmos. You might find that you are acutely affected by the moods or thoughts of others as well. And although at times it may not feel like it, this is a gift. It's a special part of your makeup and blueprint. Your keen ability to sense and intuit these energies is an aspect of the gift you're here to bring to the planet. So you could be any type of healer or teacher, but this largely depends on whether you choose to hide away from the world or engage in it. At times it may be easier just to hide away, but that is not what you have come here to do. You carry a high love frequency, and through your everyday contact with others, you are sharing it. As you allow yourself to open up to the world around you, you'll find yourself opening to the higher information and energies as well. Well, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so definitely, what Spirit is wanting you to know, what the Creator is wanting you to know is that when you're feeling all of these emotional energies from everyone, it can become overwhelming. And when we have our eyesight set on the outside world and everyone that's experiencing all these fear emotions, we can get drawn into those very easily because our fear ego, triggers those triggers that are in us about what it means about us and how we can help, ease those fears. So what I'm really fearing, and then this is the purple, it's the crown chakra, which represents the violet flame, which represents the unconditional love of the Creator. So rooting ourselves in that unconditional love remembering who we really are allows us to just let that love fill us up and overflow out to the world. Because any of those fear emotions, anger, sadness, anxiety, anything of fear is a cry for love. So when we experience all those emotions from other people, and even within ourselves, it's a cry for love. It's a cry for unconditional love, because we fear we're losing love somehow. We're feeling like we're being rejected somehow. So that is the message for that card there. I think I want to pull a card from this deck too. It's the Journey of Love, since we're getting a lot of messages about love here. So let me pull a card from here as well. Before I pull that, this jumped out to me too. This looks like, to me, this looks like Earth. Like this is the planet, and here's the Creator looking over all the world as well. And so just an additional message for that is that the Creator didn't create the world and put it spinning and went, all right, let's see what happens. The Creator is intimately aware of and involved in watching all his children. It's like a father who... or mother, taking their child to a playground, allowing them to go play, but they're on the bench watching and making sure everything's unfolding, and that everything is... I'm having trouble putting it into words. As I see it in my mind, they're making sure everything is working out for our best while not being overbearing, not being an overbearing parent. That's the emotion that I was feeling. All right. So let me pull a card for this Journey of Love. What additional message do you have for us? Okay, I'm going to pull this one. It jumped right out. And this one is Fire and Ice. Beautiful card. And that's a 37, which adds up to a 10, which is actually for new beginnings as well. So let me... And really, Fire and Ice for me represents contrast. And that's when I asked the Creator many years ago, I was like that little kid that goes, why? And I asked the Creator, I go, why did we come here? Why did we choose to come to this planet? And what I was told was that we come here for contrast. We are these mighty, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. And to more understand who we are, we came here to experience what we're not, our opposite. Because in experiencing sadness, we understand happiness and joy more. When we experience conditional love, we understand more what unconditional love is. So it's all those opposites are why we come here to experience this place of so many conditions, like, hot and cold, summer and winter, light and darkness. Just all those opposites, male and female. There's so many things that are mirrors and reflections of each other here. And then the message on the card here. And so this is talking about you are learning to hold the tension of opposites, of those things that don't immediately seem to go together, within your being without collapsing into confusion, judgment, or denial. There is passion and serenity, creation and destruction, new life and death emerging within your relationships, which is what we were totally talking about with, the Scorpio energy of birth, death, and rebirth. And it says sometimes this is hard to handle. We want to make things simpler, to just let go of the conflict and complexity and choose one or the other. You are grand enough soul to be able to withstand the rigors of depth, to go deep, to live fully, to let the divine have its way through you requires a willingness to stand at the center of the pairs of opposites and eventually know that they are connected to each other, that they exist only in relationship to each other, to breathe and simply be. If you are consciously feeling the conflict in your life, internally or externally, then you are being initiated through fire and ice. Stay present, be patient, and wait. There's nothing to fix here, just awareness to step into as divine creation continues to unfold through you. As you master this initiation, you will find a sweet nectar of bliss dripping within. This oracle brings you guidance that the conflict you feel within or externally is a sign of your spiritual growth. Soon you will grow larger than the conflict, but for now, you do not need to engage in it, simply to be present to it and allow it to work its way through you until you're strong enough to have outgrown the conflict, giving rise to clear direction. It may seem impossible, beloved, but it is not. You are a vast being. Give yourself a chance to realize this and have patience. All is becoming, including you, according to the perfection of divine design. This oracle brings specific guidance on any relationship matter requiring a decision. Until you have simple clarity in your heart, beyond the pushing away and pulling closer, then it is time to wait, for there is more yet to be revealed. Only when your heart speaks clearly, then you will do well to act as feels truthful for you. Wow. So much of what we talked about already about realizing that there is divine perfection in what is unfolding, and to stand in the middle of the fire and the ice, kind of move into the eye of the storm. And there can't be an eye of a storm if there's no storm. So the storm that's going on right now in your life is to show you that you can move to the eye of it, to the center, and to stand within it, not being impacted by the storm that's going on, but being able to calmly sit in love, in unconditional love, and see what is happening. And with moving into that eye, that's where we become at peace. And being at peace and not in fear, that is when our mind clears and where we can see capital T truth instead of small lowercase t truths. All right. Well, very good. Well, I'm going to move these down here and move these here because I'm going to pull a few cards from my Oracle deck that I'm working on with the Creator and get some additional clarification. All right, what clarification do you have for us, Creator, regarding this new moon and for the next couple weeks here? Okay, there we go. I feel like there's going to be at least one more here. Nope, there it goes. All right. Perfect. So I'm going to start with this one here. This is actually number 6 there, and this is a number 6 here. And this is the bullied card, which this is one of the pieces of what I call the manipulation process. And what happens, so it's kind of 3 stages. Whenever we want to manipulate emotionally or we're being manipulated emotionally, at least this is what's taught in the fear ego, is normally we start off by acting hurt, like, oh, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, or things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to. So now if I act sad, that can sometimes work to manipulate others, where they're like, oh, let me try to make it better for them. And so then they end up doing what we want them to do, or doing things to get us what we wanted. And if that doesn't work, then we usually switch into the bullied mode, which is trying to force people to do what we want them to do out of anger and getting loud and aggressive. And so sometimes that is the next stage, that then people out of fear will end up doing what we want them to do, or we end up doing what other people want us to do, because we fear that bully aggressiveness, and we want to avoid that. So we'll just give in to what they want. Then if that doesn't work, the third thing is rejection, which is really what we all fear when we're looking outside of ourselves for our love, is we will try to not be rejected. So if someone goes, if you don't do that, then I'm not going to talk to you anymore, or we're going to break up, or whatever that, might be, I'm going to unfriend you on Facebook, or I'm going to unfollow you, or hang up on you, so those are usually the stages, acting hurt, being bullied, or rejection. And if that doesn't work, then it usually will kind of do that whole process. We'll keep going through it, shampoo, rinse, repeat, shampoo, rinse, repeat, whatever it is, whatever that process is. So for this, what I really feel, the energy that's coming around this is that in some way you are feeling bullied, or you fear being bullied, and that is not for you. That you don't have to give in to that. You can just simply go into that eye of the storm and just let all that fear, all that fear of rejection just go. And you don't have to, look at that. You don't have to respond or react to that. You can just let it be, and you can just be separate from it. You can step outside of all that manipulation process and not be manipulated. Or if you feel, if this is bringing awareness to you, going, oh my God, I'm trying to bully people into doing what I think they should do, or how things should be, I can take a step back, into that love and go, oh, okay, that anyone's fears are just a cry for love. And if I realize that my fears are a cry for love, then I can move inside to find that love. Or if others are in fear around me, then I can give that love and not get caught up into that process of trying to control what everyone else is doing. I get to control what I do. It's interesting is this next one on the bottom that says boredom. 9 and 1 is 10, which this one was 7 and 3 is 10. So this is kind of new beginnings as well. So the overall, this is one of our fears, which boredom actually comes. It's interesting that it's rooted in when we lose ourselves, when we don't feel we can live our passion, where we feel like almost suppressed in a way. We become bored with life, with relationships, with politics. I know we're all kind of bored of, oh my God, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of conflict even. And so we shrink so much that we actually disappear, where there's just this emptiness that we have. But what's wonderful is the Creator gives us a way around it. It's ignite our passion. And it's a message for us, really. I'm going to put that over here. It's a message for us that understanding what it is we really want And it comes back to this new moon too, of what do you really want to grow? Stepping out of the fears, taking a deep breath, coming into the I, we can sit in that and go, I don't want all these, what feel like weeds growing, in my life, because they just feel like they're sucking my energy out of me, And what I can do is find out, what do I really want to grow in my life? Not what I think I'm supposed to or what everyone is saying I should grow, but what do I want to grow? And I can become passionate to that. I can put all that fuel into what I want to grow, not what I think everyone else wants to grow. And then the final card on this one is also a 6, which is 5 and 1. And this is called Guiding Love. And what I really feel the message for this for us is, with whatever chaos we feel we're going through, we might feel like we're on a bumpy sea and everything's just going around, that storm. When we're going through a storm, if we can keep our eye on this compass of love, then it'll guide us through any storm safely. Because if this is our, like they always say, focus on due north. What's your due north? If unconditional love is our guide, then we can't go wrong, because we can lead others through love by being love ourselves. We can never, don't do as I do, but as I say. That never works anywhere, right? And even as parents, you can give as much information to your children, but once they hit teenagers, they're going to live based on the information they have and by what they see. So actions do speak louder than words. And if we guide through living love, then that just gets us through that storm on there. Okay. All right, that was it for that. And then I'm going to pull one last card from this. I love these cards. The universe has got your back, because what a wonderful, just that alone is a great message of, the universe didn't throw us, into a deep, sea and go swim. They're there with us. The Creator's there with us every moment, protecting us, guiding us, talking to us. We just sometimes have to shut up and listen. All right, Creator, what final message do you have for us today for the new moon? What additional message do you have for us? Let's make it obvious for us, please. What final message do you have for us for the new moon? Okay. It's wonderful. It's showing the phases of the moon too. I find a deeper meaning in personal growth amid the discomfort. So that's just like a perfect message. It just coincides with everything that we've been talking about. Whenever we're going through a storm, this mirror that it brings us, it shows us more about a deeper meaning about who we are, why I'm here, that contrast of darkness and light, darkness and light. Wonderful. I'll put that right there. So we can have just comfort amid the discomfort, knowing that we're never alone in this. The Creator is always with us. The Creator has our back. And we have this unconditional love from the Creator that is always surrounding us. We just have to sometimes take a deep breath, come to that eye of the storm, and realize that life is happening for me. Life is not happening to me. And we can rest in that and not be bullied by stuff. Well, I hope this brought a little bit of hope for this new moon coming up. And I just send you much love for your new intentions on what you'd like to see grow over these next 2 weeks. And I send you much love, much peace, much joy. And if this message resonated with you at all, if you'd like to click the like button down below, that does help out my channel and helps spread this hope and this little bit of zen and peace into people's lives. Also, if you subscribe and click the little subscribe button with the little bell, then you'll get notified of any future videos that I do as well. So hang in there and always remember that you are loved. You take care, my friends. I love you.